Okay, used a floor jack. There's a welded bracket pretty much centered on the frame underneath, and that's what I used. Worked just fine. Got it up high enough. I set it down on a couple of railroad ties. This car's so low you can't get regular jack stands under here, but these ties I have 100% confidence in. They're about 6.5, 7 inches high. Fit under there just fine. Okay, we've got some issues with the brakes, the rear brakes on this 2005 Scion TC, and I've got it jacked up, sitting on a couple of railroad ties now. But I had my assistant hit the brakes, and they came on just fine. But when they released, this rotor is still locked up. So we've got some issues here with the caliper on this one, no doubt. Seized up. Okay, first of all, we want to get this 14mm bolt underneath here. That's for the pin to separate these two caliper halves. Okay, now if you lift up the caliper, you should be able to just wiggle this caliper portion away from the portion, the bracket that holds the shoes and the pads. Actually, set this down and don't let it hang by the brake line. So there they are. On this side, actually, they're not worn too bad, since the other side had some really serious issues. It's always best to do both of them at the same time, place them as a pair. Okay, and there's the brake shoe holder. The pin. And off with the rotor. We'll take this rotor in, get it resurfaced. It's an OEM original part, I believe. Should be able to resurface this. Considerably lower cost than replacing it. So what this has turned out to be is basically a seized up pin here. I figure we got some moisture and some rust buildup where the pin comes into the caliper. So I've been trying to work this rust off the junction here where it built up with a dental pick. I also sprayed some penetrant in there, PB Blaster. And here's a look at the one from the other side. So actually the rust is right in here. I'm attempting to pick that out of there. Also, occasionally give this caliper a few taps. Busted loose. Okay, I've taken the boot off so I can have a look at what's going on here. This seized pin. As you can see, as I turn the caliper off the holder, the shoe holder, it's turning the pin right out. So it's locked up right here where it comes in. So I tried to pick at the rust here a little bit with a dental pick. Also put PB Blaster in there. Let it soak in there a while. And I still haven't been able to get this out. So I'm just going to continue to work this. putting some more penetrant in there. Put a little bit more penetrant in there. Let that sit a while. And hopefully be able to get this out of here without having to replace the whole caliper. Okay, so the trick was to get in here, hold onto the pin with some channel lock pliers and turn the caliper. And bite me every inch of the way. And off it came finally. Should have set that down somewhere. Don't let it hang. Don't let it dangle. This pin can probably be turned out. So pretty well rusted on there. Replacement part needed. So I'm going to fit this one with new holders, new hardware, since the others got pretty well mutilated on the one side. So we'll do that next. So remove this one. Two different sizes, two different styles, of course. One puts on for right or left hand. Fits right in there. And the final one. Okay, here's the assembled caliper for the left side. It's got everything in place. The kit came with a new clip here. I believe that's called an anti-rattle clip. Otherwise, always a good practice to have the other one to go by. Don't take them both apart, and you can always use the one for a model. In this case, I have to put a new pin in here. And these come with a hex end in them. And turn that in. I believe this is on the order of 35 foot-pounds. So I'll get my torque wrench and double check that. Then I'm also going to put some grease on there. And you want to get some caliper grease. Pick this up at CarQuest. So I'll put that on there, and I'll redo all the pins with caliper grease. Okay, I'm doing the boots on this because of the fact that we had a failure. We had moisture getting in. The one failed, so I got a set of these. Gotta make sure they're seated all the way around. There it is. Okay. I'm going to put a coat of grease on there. Okay, we had the rotor resurfaced in the machine shop. Put that back on. So I also want to clean up inside that bore where it's seized up, so I just wrap this little piece of sandpaper on a pencil. Get in here and get some of that rust off the surface. I'll go in there again with some lacquer thinner and remove the rest of the dust. Okay, so now I'm putting the holder bolt back on, 14mm. I'll torque these to about 35 foot-pounds. Okay, now we've already depressed the piston in this one using a clamp. Okay, so slip the boot on. I have a new boot here. In fact, when you put the boot on, it's going to tend to drive the grease off the pin. So I lube it up again. So the boot should go on before you grease it. So now we got everything on there. You can slip the upper part of the caliper over the upper pin. There it is on there. And one more detail, you have to get the boot fully around the upper part of the caliper. Get something under there. Okay, when this dust cover's on here all the way, you'll see it pull. Got to have it seated on the lip, on the bore side, and on the bracket side. And when it's on there, and you can feel it on all the way around that it's seated, you'll have a good feel. So that one's fine. Okay, apply some grease now to the backing plate on both sides. I got some on the other side too. Prevent squeaking, squealing. Okay, finally now torque down this final 17mm lower pin bolt. Torque it to 35 foot-pounds. And we're pretty much done here. I'll get my torque wrench and set that up.